Hey folks, Will Hamilton here, and welcome to this third free training video on how to run plays to play to your strengths, attack your opponent's weaknesses, and avoid making mistakes. Now in this video, I'm going to show you a play called Serve Plus One, made famous by Roger Federer. We're going to tweak it a little bit though, so that it works against a pusher, because the normal way you tend to use this play actually isn't ideal against the pusher's style of play. Now, if you haven't checked out the first two videos yet, watch them first. They kind of set the stage for what I'm about to talk about. First video is Roger Federer running a play called Home Base. The second video is Rafael Nadal running a play called the Battering Ram. And those two videos focused on rally plays. But there's 5 phases of the game. There's serving, there's returning, there's rallying, there's approaching the net, and then there's villain approaching the net. And you need plays for all 5 phases of those games to have success. So what I wanted to do right now is talk about Serve Plus One, a serve play against the pusher. Because when we think about pushers, we tend to focus on the rallies, right? A pusher is a type of player who hangs out way behind the baseline. You know, their strokes are pretty ugly. You look at this person, you're like, I'm definitely better than them. But then they start moonballing you to death. They push you behind the baseline, and a lot of the times you end up overhitting, making a ton of mistakes. Then you maybe back off and you start pushing, and this player is just a nightmare to play, and often you end up losing to him. So one of the best ways to beat a pusher is to have a rock solid serve play, and that play is Serve Plus One. Then you don't even have to get into a rally with a pusher at all. So let's first talk about how Roger Federer uses Serve Plus One, and then we're going to tweak it so that it works against the pusher. Now, when you see Roger running this play, what he's going to do is he's going to serve out wide to stretch villain off the court, like this. And from over here, the natural angle of the return is going to be cross court, and Fed's going to set it up so that he hits a forehand down the line through the court to push villain back and try and get them to hit a running backhand. Ideally, push them back to hit a backhand. We all know how difficult that is to back up and hit a backhand. So you're stacking the strength of your serve with the strength of your sword to create this 1-2 punch that's going to put you in control of the point. Now, the problem with this, when you're playing a pusher, is that pushers stand really, really far behind the baseline. And so instead of standing here, pulling them off the court and then having that opportunity to push them back, they're probably already back here. So yes, that is going to get them a little bit further off the court, but they move great and they're going to have a much easier time getting to this shot. So what tends to happen is in the first set, this can work great, but then they start to get to more and more balls. So you go for a little bit more and a little bit more, and you start to overcook this second shot. You start to overhit. That's sort of step one, and then when you start to make a ton of mistakes, then you start to back off, abandon your game plan, just keep it in play. So how can we modify Serve Plus One to work great against a pusher? Well, it's actually quite simple. So you serve off the court, they're going to go get it, and instead of hitting a drive forehand, you want to hit a forehand that bounces before the service line. You're not trying to rip it, you're just trying to get it to bounce somewhere here, and the goal is to have the ball come up and be down somewhere around the baseline. And what happens in that situation, because the pusher's so far behind the baseline, you actually draw them in, and they're running forward to hit a shield, to hit a backhand, and they're very likely to pop that up. So you're going to serve off the court, you're going to hit your forehand down the line, but get the ball to bounce before the service line, and then you are going to follow that to net and position yourself right there. Because when the pusher moves forward, again, remember, it's hard enough to hit a low passing shot if you're Novak Djokovic, but if you're a pusher whose technique is a little bit, they're not going to be able to get that ball up and down and rip a passing shot. What they are going to do is they are going to lob this ball. They're going to hit some kind of weak lob, and you are going to be perfectly positioned to put that ball away. So this is how you modify Serve Plus One to take advantage of the pusher's weaknesses, right? Their positioning and the fact that their shots aren't great. And it's little tweaks like this that can make all the difference based on who you are playing. And again, having an effective serve play allowed you to prevent a rally from happening altogether, where a pusher really starts to excel when they can get you off your game and push you behind the baseline. That's just generally the importance of having plays for all 5 phases of the game. Again, serving, returning, rallying, approaching the net, and villain is approaching the net. So that's a wrap for this free training series. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. And if you're excited about the idea of running plays and you want to go further, then I want to invite you to pick up a copy of the Singles Playbook. There are 41 plays in this thing. I've shared 3 over the course of this training series. There's 41 that I've learned from Martina Navratilova, Pat Rafter, Craig O'Shaughnessy. He's Djokovic's coach. He's an analytics guru, crunches all the numbers for the high percentage and low percentage plays you can run. So this thing's pretty awesome. And for the next couple days, I want to send it to you in the mail. And shipping is free. You can get all the details on this deal by clicking the link in the description below. But again, hope you liked this series. I enjoyed putting it together for you. Hopefully you can see how powerful plays are. Technique isn't enough. You got to have a playbook. You got to have the right strategies and tactics that allow you to play to your strengths, attack your opponent's weaknesses, and avoid making mistakes. That is how you finally play as well in a match as you do in practice. So thanks again one more time for watching this free training series. It was a blast to put together for you, and I look forward to hearing about your results when you put the playbook and you put plays to the test.